What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Steven Vetri. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video if you'd like to see further Photoshop content. With that being said, we're just going to jump right in and talk about how to effectively pixel stretch and add distortions to your photos and layers in Adobe Photoshop. So let's get right to it. So first I'm going to talk about pixel stretching, and basically what pixel stretching is it's taking literally the pixels and then just stretching those to however long you want to stretch them. So to do that, basically what I do is I go up to the single column tool. I select that, and then I can click anywhere in the picture. So if I want to click right here, and then I'm going to hit Command or Control T, and then that's basically selecting that line. And then you can actually hover over it, and once you get the lines that are going like horizontal, you can just click on it and then pull it whatever way you want. So if I want to pull it, say this way, I could pull it that way, and it stretches the pixels from the sunset, and then that's still selected, and I can hit Command T to unselect it. And sometimes let me go back, because sometimes if I'm selecting this and I'm pulling it, sometimes you get a little line that's actually like a white line that you can actually see through. And if you ever get that, you could just always, when it's in this stage and it's selected, you can actually hit Command T and then just shift it over a little bit, and it will usually cover that line up. You can even do this multiple times. So if I want to go ahead, click on this, pull that way. If I want the picture stretched besides like the middle, something like that looks pretty neat. And there's that white line I was talking about. So if you ever get that, you can actually just shift it over with your arrows. And then it goes away kind of like that. So that looks kind of cool because your picture is stretched and you can basically make it however you want to make it look. Another way that pixel stretching works is it doesn't have to actually just be a square photo like this sunset. You could take persons, for example, we'll take LeBron here, for example. You can go back to your single column tool and you can click really anywhere. Instead of just clicking on here, I'm going to actually click over here because it would be a better example to show you guys. So I can click here, and it's not going to drag his whole body when I hit Command or Control T to select that line again. It's actually just going to drag the two areas that it's touching. So here it's going to drag his shoes and the ball. And then you can go ahead and like warp this and play around with that and see what you want to do. So that's just another tip just to throw in there for you guys. So another neat thing that you can actually do with pixel stretching is once you get back to your original photo, you can go up to Filter in the upper tab, and you can go to something like Distort. And Distort has all its different options in here. So say I want to go to click on polar coordinates. Polar coordinates, as you can see, it's going to make it like into it's going to pixel stretch it into sort of like a circle. And you can actually change like your percentage. So if you want something like 12, you can see how it's going to look in there. If you want something like 33, you can see how it's going to look. If you want something like 800, you can see like it's really big. So you can go through and you can pick whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and pick 33, and you can see it pixel stretches it into a circle. And the neat thing about this too is if I don't want that whole thing, I say I only need up until here, I can actually just go ahead, double click, and then delete that, and then I have just what I need. So that's pretty cool. You have all these different options. Again, you can go, once you get back to your, let me get back to the original. Once you get back to your original, you can go back up to the store. You can do something like sphere, and sphere is basically just obviously turning into a sphere. So you can hit OK. It's gonna bubble this out, and if you actually go back up to that tab, you can work with this too. If you don't want it like at 100, you can play around, do all these different things in here. So that's pretty neat. Another one up there that I like using is the twirl. Twirl is basically just, working with it a little bit, making like a wavy effect. And you can even go in here and you can if you actually hit Command T, you can go in here and you could do different things in here too that I'm going to get to in a little bit. But I just want to go back up to that filter tab at the top. So let's go back up and jump back up to there. Not even just in Distort, you have all these different distortion tools up in here. You can blur it a little bit. So if I want to blur more, you could see it's not really doing too much on this photo because it's kind of just a bunch of colors in a sunset. But if you had like a photo like a person or something, you hit blur more, you would see it better. Now I'm going to actually just jump back up to the filter tab, and there's a bunch of more distortion tools, not just under distortion. If you want to go to something like render, you can hit something like difference clouds, and it's going to make it look like a crazy effect. And this is pretty cool because you can actually like make this like bigger if you want to. You can use it as like a background of something because that looks pretty like wild and cool as a background or something like that. So you have all these different options. You go back up to filter actually, and there's just all these different things. Stylus, you can obviously find edges isn't going to work on this because it's just a square right now, but if there was like a person that you had cut out, you can actually like sharpen the edges, do different things like that to make it more pop more, and different things like that. You could pixelate this. You could do some like fragment, make it look like more blurry and shaky, because that looks kind of cool. You could do all these different things. Pixelate's pretty cool because it has all different things. You can crystallize it. This is actually really cool. Makes it look like a stained glass window effect. All these different things you can do. Now I'm actually going to jump into what I said before about the Command T. So if you actually hit Command T on this, right, you can right click, and then you have all these different things in here. So if I want to just go to something like rotate, rotate's not really useful because like obviously it is, but if you're rotating, you can just do the same thing when you hit Command T out here. You don't have to actually click on it, so it's the same thing. But you go to Command T, you can go back there, you can do something like skew, and then if you grab it in one of the corners or one of these little boxes that are highlighted, you can actually move it around, skew it to a angle that you want. So if you want it like all the way over there, you can do that. I don't know, you can do all these different things. So you can hit enter when you're done, and then if you want to go back, you can obviously hit Command or Control Z, go back. We're going to just go through all these quick. We're going to go to something like distort, and then again grab it in one of the corners. You can move it around. You can actually even move it below it and bend it like backwards like that. So there's all these different things. So let's just go through the last two. Perspective is just, again, it's going to be moving it to your perspective. So this would be cool for something like you know, in some of those pictures there's like roads that are, as it's getting like longer and longer, it's getting skinnier and skinnier. So this is what that reminds me of. Like, it's wider right by you, but then it gets skinnier as it goes up. So there's all these different things. And the last one's my personal favorite. It's warp. And this is, again, I talked about this in one of my last videos. It just brings up a grid, and you can click anywhere in here and just move it around. So I can like pull that up if I want to. I can pull this box here, and also these little lines pop up that I can actually like pull back. And then what I personally like doing is if I do pull this corner down, I like touching up like underneath it, and then I can like bump it out, which is kind of cool because it looks like it's like an overhang, and then I can pull this around or something. You could just basically work with it if you're trying to warp something like in a picture, or warp like pixel stretch warp, which I'm actually going to get to in upcoming videos. I'm going to teach you how to like pixel stretch but add it to a photo, because I do different things like sports edits and stuff, and they come out looking really cool. So I'm going to show you how to do different things like sports edits and all those different things that you can incorporate these pixel stretching and these warpings to make your document or project look so much better. So that's pretty neat. Another thing that you could do if you hit Command T in here is also just your rotation tool is flipping. So flipping's not going to look too much different just because it's a sunset. But there's all these different things. You got free transform, which is, again, just moving it around. So, or you can just go up to your movement tools. So there's all these different things that you could do with pixel stretching and warping. Pixel stretching, again, you just got to click on your column tool, and then you can even go up here again, look through all your pixel stretching. You have all these different things up here. Again, if you want to do different distortion tools, is liquify, which is basically you can come in here with different tools and you can move this around. You can do a lot of things with distortion. Like, this is cool even just to come in and just play around with. Like this is fun right now, just playing around with this. So you could do that. You hit Command Z if you want to go back. You can work with your brush size up here. You can go to 50, so it's a lot smaller, or you can even bump that up to like 300, so it's bigger. Or you can even just use your brackets, which are right of the P. But when you're using brackets, again, make sure your caps lock button is off, or else it won't work. So I can actually make that, and I can just like drag this all the way down if I want to. I can drag this all the way up, do something cool like that if you're trying to make like a dripped effect, and then hit enter and you get right out of that. So that's cool. Filter gallery, again, you can go into filter gallery, and there's all these different filters in here. If you want to make it look like colored pencil, if you want to make it look like obviously neon glow, and then there's all these different ones. There's brushes, there's these distortions, again, there's all these different I know there's one that does look like stained glass window, as I was talking about stained glass earlier. I want to try and find that for you guys. Yeah, stained glass. So here's what like earlier it looked like, but here it actually is. So that looks kind of cool for like a background. These are all basically like cool backgrounds, so like patchwork. It's cool like backgrounds you can use, or if you're trying to make your picture look crazy or just cool. So that's definitely cool. And again, in each personal one, there's all these different effects. You can make it darker, you can make it more thicker, anything you guys really want to do to make your picture pop more. So that's really where you get most of your distortion tools is up in filter. And make sure when you are up in filter, you are clicked on your layer, because say I'm not clicked on a layer, then nothing's going to show up. So make sure you are clicked on the layer that you want to add your distortions tool to. So go ahead and just basically just look through them, see what you guys want to do. There's all these different things. Whenever you click on one of those, again, whenever you actually click on, let me get out of this quickly. Whenever you click on one that's like up here, so like right here, they have all their different menus and they do it right here. But when you click on one up here, it's going to bring you to a separate page, like how it's been doing. And then you can just work with your stuff in there. And when you're done, you just have to hit enter and it'll bring you right back to your, document, and then you can actually see if you like it there or not. If you don't, you can just hit Control Z again, bring it back to your original. So that's basically it for pixel stretching and distortion tools. So thank you again, guys, so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video for more of these Photoshop tutorials. Again, I'm going to come out with more pixel stretching tutorials because it's a really fun tool in Photoshop. Those should be coming out later this week, dealing with sports edits and just how to add more effect to your documents. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm back again, just reminding you to hit the subscribe button that's above me and go check out some of my other videos that will be linked over here. And if you look all the way up on the top of the screen, you'll see some of my social medias that I'm going to link down in the description for you. And all the way in the top left, you'll see my Fiverr that you can go check out some of my gigs that I have on there. It's actually Steven Vetria, as you can see up there. So again, thank you so much for watching. Peace.